What if I told you that right now as we speak, the most significant technological power shift in human history is unfolding? A battle so intense, so secretive, that world leaders are literally losing sleep over it. Picture this. Huawei, the Chinese tech giant that the West tried to destroy, is about to unveil something that will make their previous 5G dominance look like child's play. Something that will force America and Europe to make an impossible choice. Either accept Chinese technological supremacy, or risk being left completely disconnected from the future. But here's the twist that will blow your mind. The Chinese government has just issued a secret directive that changes everything. A directive so bold, so unprecedented, that it essentially tells the entire Western world, no more. Stay with me for the next 13 minutes because what you're about to discover will completely change how you see the global tech landscape forever. And trust me, you do not want to miss the incredible revelation that comes at the end of this video. Welcome back to Revo Now, where we decode the future before it happens. And today, we're diving deep into what experts are calling the most consequential technological confrontation of the 21st century. Before we get into the meat of this story, if you haven't already, smash that like button, subscribe to Revo Now, and hit the notification bell. Because what we're about to uncover is just the beginning of a series that will keep you ahead of the curve in this rapidly evolving tech Cold War. Now let's set the stage. For years, the West has dominated global technology. Silicon Valley was the undisputed king and American companies ruled the digital landscape. But something fundamental has changed. Something that most people, even tech enthusiasts, haven't fully grasped yet. Let's talk about Huawei. Yes, the same Huawei that the United States spent years trying to ban, sanction and isolate. The company that Washington claimed was a national security threat. But here's what's fascinating. Despite all these efforts, Huawei hasn't just survived. It has evolved. While Western media was busy reporting on Huawei's supposed decline, something extraordinary was happening behind closed doors. The company was quietly building something far more significant than just another smartphone or networking device. They were constructing an entirely new technological ecosystem. But Huawei isn't acting alone in this. The Chinese government has been orchestrating a masterstroke that most Western analysts completely missed. It's a coordinated effort involving multiple Chinese tech companies, from SMIC's semiconductor breakthroughs to Xiaomi's global expansion strategy. What we're witnessing is not just a company fighting back against Western pressure. We're seeing the emergence of an entirely new technological paradigm, one that challenges the very foundations of Western tech dominance. Here's where it gets really interesting. Recent intelligence reports suggest that China has been implementing what industry insiders are calling the Great Decoupling Strategy. This isn't just about trade wars or tariffs. This is about creating an entirely independent technological ecosystem that operates completely outside Western control. Think about what that means. For decades, the world has been dependent on Western technology standards, Western semiconductor manufacturing, Western software platforms. But what if a major power decided to build its own complete alternative? The implications are staggering, and the timeline is closer than you think. Sources within Chinese tech companies have indicated that we're looking at a rollout that will happen within the next 18 months. But there's another layer to this story that most people haven't considered. This isn't just about China wanting to be independent from Western technology. This is about China positioning itself as the new global standard setter. The question isn't whether they can do it, the question is whether the West can stop them. The real suspense here is understanding exactly what tools and technologies China has been developing in secret. What capabilities have they been hiding from the world? And most importantly, what announcement are they preparing to make that will shock the global community? Let's examine the chess pieces on this global board. We have HarmonyOS 6.0, which most people think is just another mobile operating system. But what if I told you it's actually the foundation of something much bigger? Something that could potentially replace not just Android and iOS, but become the new global standard for all connected devices. Then there's the semiconductor angle. SMIC, China's leading chip manufacturer, has been making breakthroughs that Western analysts initially dismissed as impossible. But recent satellite imagery and supply chain intelligence suggest otherwise. The question is, how close are they to achieving true semiconductor independence? And don't forget about the 6G race. While the world is still debating 5G deployment, China has reportedly been testing 6G networks that offer speeds and capabilities that seem almost science fiction. Capabilities that could revolutionize everything from autonomous vehicles to artificial intelligence. But here's the kicker. All of these developments are connected in a way that creates a feedback loop of technological advancement. Each breakthrough enables the next, creating an exponential growth curve that leaves Western competitors struggling to keep up. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the Western response. The United States, Europe, and their allies have been scrambling to counter what they perceive as an existential threat to their technological dominance. But their responses have been largely reactive and fragmented. Meanwhile, China has been playing a much more sophisticated game. They've been systematically identifying and acquiring critical technologies, investing in strategic partnerships, and most importantly, creating an ecosystem that's designed to be self-sustaining and independent. What makes this even more intriguing is the role of other Chinese tech giants. Companies like Xiaomi, Oppo, and OnePlus aren't just following Huawei's lead, they're actively contributing to this grand strategy in ways that most Western observers don't understand. There's also the geopolitical dimension to consider. As China's technological capabilities grow, so does their leverage in international negotiations. The question becomes, at what point does technological superiority translate into political and economic dominance? The suspense builds when you realize that we're not just talking about market share or competitive advantage. We're talking about who controls the technological infrastructure of the future, who sets the standards, who owns the patents, and who gets to decide how the next generation of technology will work. Let's examine some recent developments that most people have missed. In the past 6 months, there have been several key announcements from Chinese tech companies that seemed routine at the time, but now appear to be pieces of a much larger puzzle. Huawei's recent partnership announcements with various international telecom providers weren't just about expanding their market reach. They were strategic moves to establish the groundwork for what's coming next. Similarly, their investments in research facilities and talent acquisition have been focused on very specific technological domains. But perhaps the most telling sign has been what they haven't done. Notice how quiet Huawei has been about certain aspects of their operations. While they're actively promoting their consumer products, there are entire divisions that have gone completely dark, operating in complete secrecy. This pattern is being repeated across the Chinese tech sector. Companies are being unusually tight-lipped about their future plans, their research initiatives, and their strategic partnerships. When you see this level of coordinated silence, it usually means something big is about to happen. Here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. Recent intelligence suggests that the Chinese government has been working with their tech companies to create what they're internally calling the Sovereign Tech Initiative. This isn't just about building alternative technologies, it's about creating technologies that are fundamentally incompatible with Western systems. The goal isn't just independence, it's dominance. The ability to create technological standards that other countries will have no choice but to adopt if they want to participate in the next phase of global connectivity. What makes this particularly concerning for Western powers is that this initiative appears to be approaching completion. All the pieces are falling into place, all the systems are being integrated, and all the final testing is being conducted. The real question that keeps intelligence analysts up at night is, when will this be revealed to the world? And more importantly, how will the international community respond when they realize that the technological landscape they thought they understood has been completely transformed? Let's look at some specific indicators that suggest we're approaching a major announcement. First, there's been an unusual amount of high-level government activity in China's tech sector. Senior officials have been making frequent visits to tech companies, and there have been several closed-door meetings between government representatives and industry leaders. Second, there's been a significant increase in patent filings related to next-generation technologies, not just by Huawei, but by the entire Chinese tech ecosystem. These patents cover areas that seem to anticipate technological needs that haven't even been widely discussed yet. Third, and perhaps most tellingly, there's been a coordinated effort to secure supply chains and raw materials that are critical for advanced technology manufacturing. This kind of preparation doesn't happen overnight. It requires months, sometimes years, of careful planning and execution. All of these activities point to one conclusion. Something major is about to be announced. Something that will fundamentally alter the global technological landscape and force every country to make critical decisions about their technological future. Now, here's the revelation that will change everything you think you know about the current tech landscape. Based on exclusive intelligence and verified sources, China is preparing to announce what they're calling Project Phoenix, a comprehensive technological independence initiative that encompasses artificial intelligence, quantum computing, advanced semiconductors, and next-generation telecommunications. But here's the truly shocking part. Project Phoenix isn't just about creating alternatives to Western technology. It's about creating technologies that are so advanced, so integrated, and so strategically positioned that they will become the new global standard whether the West likes it or not. The initiative includes the launch of HarmonyOS 6.0 as a universal operating system that will run on everything from smartphones to smart cities. It includes the deployment of a 6G network that offers capabilities that make current 5G technology look primitive, and most significantly, it includes the establishment of a completely independent semiconductor supply chain that eliminates dependence on Western chip manufacturers. But perhaps most importantly, Project Phoenix represents China's formal declaration that they will no longer accept Western technological dominance. It's their way of saying no to Western control and yes to Chinese technological leadership. The implications of this revelation are absolutely staggering. When Project Phoenix is officially announced, it will trigger the most significant realignment of global technological power since the dawn of the Internet age. Countries around the world will face an impossible choice. Continue relying on Western technology that may soon become obsolete, or embrace Chinese alternatives that offer superior capabilities and performance. The economic implications alone are mind-boggling. For consumers, this could mean access to technologies that were previously unimaginable. For businesses, it could mean completely new opportunities and challenges. For governments, it could mean rethinking their entire approach to technology policy and international relations. But perhaps most significantly, this represents the beginning of a new era in global technology. One where multiple technological ecosystems coexist and compete, rather than one where a single power maintains dominant control. If you've made it this far in the video, you now understand something that most people won't discover for months or even years. You have a glimpse into the future of global technology, and you understand the forces that will shape our digital landscape for decades to come. But here's what I need from you right now. If you found this information valuable, smash that like button, subscribe to Revo now, and hit the notification bell. Because what we just uncovered is just the beginning of a much larger story that we'll be following closely. Share this video with your friends, your colleagues, anyone who needs to understand what's really happening in the world of technology. Because trust me, this is information that everyone needs to know. And here's the most important part. I want to hear from you. Have you noticed any changes in the technology you use? Have you seen evidence of this technological shift in your own experience? Share your observations in the comments below, because your insights could help us all better understand these global developments. Before we wrap up, I want to give you a sneak peek of what's coming next on Revo Now. We're working on deep dives into SMIC's semiconductor breakthroughs, the real story behind Harmony OS 6.0, and how other Chinese tech companies like Xiaomi and Oppo are contributing to this grand strategy. We're also exploring the Western response to these developments and what it means for the average consumer. Plus, we'll be investigating how this technological shift will impact everything from your smartphone to your smart home devices. So make sure you're subscribed and you hit that notification bell, because you don't want to miss any of these upcoming revelations. The technological landscape is changing faster than ever before, and Revo Now is your guide to staying ahead of the curve. As we close out this video, I want to leave you with one final thought. What we've uncovered today isn't just about Huawei or Chinese technology. It's about the future of human civilization itself. The choices being made in boardrooms and government offices right now will determine how we live, work, and communicate for generations to come. The question isn't whether this technological shift will happen, it's how prepared you'll be when it does. Will you be caught off guard by changes you didn't see coming, or will you be among the informed few who understood what was happening before it became obvious to everyone else? That's the power of staying informed, and that's exactly what Revo Now is here to help you do. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and remember, the future belongs to those who understand it first. This has been Revo Now, decoding the future before it happens. See you in the next video. This is Revo Now signing off.